So the next option we are going to see is I want to edit the deployment and change the new image name. Imagine you are having an image saying, let's say, application version 1.1. Okay, you are creating a new version. For that, you have created a new image and you want to update this application to use the latest image. How do I do that? In the UI, okay, in the UI, what I can do is there is a pencil icon, right? So I'm going to deployments. In the deployment, okay, before doing this, let me check the version of this Nginx I'm using. So I'm going to access a page which is not available. So I'm going to generate an error page so that there it will print me the Nginx version number. So the Nginx version it is using is 1.21.0. And let me also get some older version of Nginx, right? So latest is mapping to 1.21. Let me get something older version, 1.21. Yeah. I have one more version called 1.20.1. Let me use that. 1.20.1. Let me copy the tag name. And I'm going to edit this. When I edit it, it is going to give me a YAML file of the deployment. There, I will have an option called, I will walk you through this file. Okay. And there, I'm going to say, there is on the line number 108, I see the image. This is where the image, whatever I have given, will be there. So let me change the image to Nginx colon 1.20.1. That means I'm asking it to use a older version of Jenkins.
Okay. Is it Jenkins or Nginx?
Oh, sorry, Nginx. Nginx, sorry. Older version of Nginx. Let me update that. Once I do that, if you go to your replica set, you can see the new replica set is creating. And there, the older one is still 3. Now you see the newer one is 2 and the older one is 3, and it become 4 and it become 0. So this was doing a rolling update kind of scenario. It is adding a new container and then one by one removing the older container. That is the transition you have seen now. If you go and refresh the page now, it should be showing 1.20.1. Yes. So it has deployed this container, that is this version of Nginx. So whenever you do a deployment, it is going to by default use the rolling update strategy, because the default deployment strategy followed by Kubernetes is rolling update. Yesterday I have explained about this max surge and max unavailable. Okay. And for every deployment, it is going to create a new replica set. But one thing I want to highlight here, Kubernetes identifies the duplicates in the replica sets. And if there is any duplicates, it is going to remove them. It's not going to keep them. Like for example, you just make a note of this replica set names 6C888 5FB6. Okay. So for the 6C888, the image name is Nginx. For the 5F, the image name is Nginx 1.20.1. Okay. If I go to the deployment and if I edit the deployment and change it back to Nginx, if you go to my replica set, you see it is identifying that is a duplicate of the 6C. So it is bringing up the 6C now. So Kubernetes has the ability to remove duplicates in the deployment history. Let me use the 1.19.9. Okay. So let me go to the deployment and let me edit this, and there, let me change the image to Nginx colon 1.19.9. Okay, let me update this. And if I go to my replica set, you can see there is a new replica set which is getting created. So last time when I use the same image, because the deployment YAML is the unique identifier here. So whenever there is a deployment happening, so Kubernetes is going to keep the track of deployment YAML. Okay, that is where the deployment history is kept. Last 10 deployment will be kept, right? So whenever a new deployment YAML is presented, it is going to validate it with the complete history, right? If the history is already available, it is going to bring that respective replica set, right? When I change it to Nginx, it is pointing to the 6C, right?
Yes.
So this is where I talk about, it is going to identify the duplicate and remove the duplicates in the replica sets.